All right, hello everybody, and welcome back to 88 Goals. This is week 3, and I will be playing against Battlehog. And I don't know that I did not look at the name of his team, so unfortunately, I will not have that available for this segment. But I will be able to name them in the post game because I'll look at their team name. Um, so we came out last week with a really big win, so now we're sitting at a 1-1 record with a +3 differential. So we're sitting pretty solidly to start the season. This week is gonna be a little funky. We have some really interesting Pokemon. Um, for my opponent, they have Terra Greninja. This is the person who sniped me Garchomp from me, so they were the 16th pick in the draft. They have Terra King Gambit, Moltres, Thundurus Therian, Alolan Muck, Screamtail, Serena, and Mimikyu. So lots to consider here. Most notably would be something like Terra Battlebond Gren. We do have also the potential for like Terra, typically like one of like 3 or 4 Terras on King Gambit. Garchomp is also always a threat as a Pokemon, depending on if it's offensive or defensive. I would prefer it to probably be more defensive this week, so it can't just run. So I don't have to play that hard around it with my Pokemon. But regardless, I think this is not a terrible matchup. I do have to be careful with things like King Gambit's Terra. Um, and I also will have to potentially worry about like rocks, maybe even poison, maybe even T-spikes from Alolan Muck could be a bit annoying. But uh, I will go through my team here, and then we will be able to get into the battle afterwards. All right, so I will be bringing this set of Pokemon against my opponent this week. Starting with my Terra captains, we have Necrozma running leftovers this week. Terra Fairy with 232 HP, 252 special attack, 24 speed. Modest Nature, Terra Blast, Photon Geyser, Earth Power, Calm Mind. And next up, we have Urshifu Rapid Strike. So Necrozma is going to be here to punch holes and maybe just trade 1-for-1. Necrozma is a really good 1-for-1 trader as a Pokemon. Next up, we have Kapow, the Urshifu Rapid Strike. We're running Protective Pads again this week. I am anticipating, well, with Garchomp, I anticipate if it's going to be Tanky Chomp that I will have to do multiple sets of Surging Strikes to probably break through it. We're going to run pads with Terra Water, 8 HP, 252 attack, 248 speed Jolly. Surging Strikes, Close Combat, Aqua Jet, Trailblaze. And going down, we have Edward, the Iron Treads, running Air Balloon this week. We're running 200 HP, 84 attack, 224 speed, and Jolly Nature. This is to outspeed Garchomp and for Ice Spinner to 2-shot. It is I believe that's on a Tank Chomp. I could be wrong, but I do believe that this is against Tank Chomp that I have this set for. Next up we have Kaichao, the Kyurem. We're going to be running Choice Scarf this week. 100 HP, 52 defense, 252 special attack, 104 speed, modest nature. We're always slower than a +1 Garchomp, so we do have to be wary, but we do have a decent chunk of good Pokemon here for it. Yeah. And we're going to be running Freeze Dry, Dragon Pulse, Earth Power, Ancient Power. Dragon Pulse probably shouldn't need to get clicked, but if I do ever have to, I can. Freeze Dry is going to do quite a good number into his team, but like Earth Power, Dragon Pulse, and then Ancient Power is for Moltres. In general. All right, and next up we have T-Swift, the Primarina. We're gonna hold a Wakan Berry this week. Wakan Berry to deal with Thundurus, coming in and clicking Thunder and just being able to click Thunderbolt into us. We can live the hit, and we can send a powerful Surf or Moonblast into our opponent. Probably a Moonblast, to be honest. And we're running Torrent this week instead of Liquid Voice. I think Torrent seems to be Prim's better move, specifically in ability in singles. Liquid Voice, like, there's just better and stronger moves than Hyper Voice, or it's equally as strong. And Torrent can give you a boost in your damage. Next up, we have Meowscarada. And Meow is also running protective pads this week. We're running Protean, 8 HP, 252 attack, 248 speed, Jolly nature. So we are running a minus special attack nature, which will come into play here with the fact that we are U-turn, Power Gem, Knockoff, and Triple Axle. Power Gem is for Moltres. If we do see Moltres come in, we can just rip a Power Gem into it. And because we're pads, I'm not also afraid to just rip Knockoff into pretty much everything. We have Triple Axle specifically to hit... we have Triple Axle specifically to hit Garchomp. It does really good into it. It can also hit Thunderous as well. And it does some bit of damage into a Max. Moltres, I do think Moltres is going to be physical defense this week. As with Alolan Muck being able to be a good special wall, that'll probably be good for them to have. So yeah, this is what I'll be bringing, and I will be back after the match with the replay. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, my match has concluded for week 3 and 88 goals. So let's take a look at the replay. My opponent brought Kingambit, Moltres, Screamtail, Serena, Thundurus Therian, and Garchomp. I think I wasn't super expecting the Serena, although wanting to prevent me from having Rocks up is pretty important. It's gonna be a bit tough, I think, with the situation that's in this game. I wasn't 100% sure how this would play out. It really did depend on Terra typings. So we load in, and the Terra typings, you can see it's Terra Water Kingambit. And you can't see it, but it is Terra Electric on Torn. I believe I don't know if Torn. I don't. I think. I mean, really, it's just Terra Water Kingambit's a bit interesting. I lead Meowscarada, and my opponent leads with Screamtail. Not the best situation for me, as Screamtail can just use like some as I probably should just I didn't have a specific move for this, so I probably should just click like U-turn. So I do just U-turn out. I get 24 damage on it, so pretty good. I send Prim in, and it just goes for Reflect. It goes Thunder Wave and gets a instant full paralysis on my Primarina, so a bit unfortunate to not get Shadow Balled the first time without a light screen up. But it happens. It goes for Wish. And here it just clicks Reflect. I click another Shadow Ball crit. I was looking for a crit. But instead it doesn't happen. They switch to Kingambit, and I get full parried again. I think it probably was just another Shadow Ball. Moonblast here doing quite a bit, but it's all good. I bring in Urshifu on this with the Reflect going down, and then I decide to click Trailblaze. And I go to get my extra speed, and I go Terra Water, and I go Surging Strikes, which cleanly KOs the Thundurus. But now I have a very, very low Urshifu. And Scale Shot hits and removes Urshifu from the game. I think this could have come back to bite me. This might come back to bite me later. But I noticed that it's Life Orb then with this setup. So I don't know why I brought Meow in with it at +1. It feels... That's a bit rough, but I probably could have switched to Treads on this, no matter what. Just as a defensive Pokemon. So losing Meowscarada for free was a bit rough. The matchup's not great for Meow, but I should never sack it to the stat, really. In comes King Gambit. I switched to Iron Treads with Balloon. And I just get Iron-Headed, so Knockoff comes out. Rocky Helmet is taken off of Moltres. Flamethrower comes in. So just doing good, just like making sure. Yeah, this was super unfortunate. I think that's 3 full paras from Primarina now. Which would have been really good damage on the Serena. But instead I have to lose my Pokemon. Now I bring in Kai Chow. It's gonna click Freeze Dry, and it doesn't even get the KO. So I eat a high jump kick. I do end up getting the KO here. Moltres comes out, and I switch to Necrozma on Flamethrower because I'm pretty defensively bulky. It goes for that, and I click Calm Mind. I get full parrot immediately, which is like just the worst. That's like 4 full paras this game. 5 full paras this game. Like, it's not even that greedy to go for an extra Calm Mind. But now I'm just boned completely by Gambit. Freeze Strike doesn't do a lot of damage, but does get a freeze. And the game from here is pretty uneventful, I'd say. So I'm going to speed it up. So essentially, I get the KO on Gambit. I go Treads on this, and then I'm forced to... And I'm essentially forced to haul Ancient Powers. And I do get an Omni boost, which is really good. But then I get parried. So I'm just essentially forced, because I am choice locked with Choice Scarf, I'm forced to keep doing this until I struggle. And yeah, I just struggle and die. Yeah. So rough, super rough game. I come out with a 2 differential in a loss, but I'm now 1-2, and just super struggle. These weeks feel like such struggles to prep. And I do think a lot of it has to do with the format. This is realistically, this is my first time playing any league where I literally don't know what Terra my opponent is. And I'm noticing that people are just putting on, like... I noticed that it's like I didn't once prep for Water Gambit. I prepped for Fire. I prepped for Dark, potentially Ghost. Like, every other good Gambit thing I prepped for, and I didn't prep for Water, and it didn't really bite me in the ass, but, like, it kind of sucked. So I'm just getting more and more frustrated by the week at how the Terra format works. And it doesn't help that, like, after this week I have to go to face Terra Tornadus Styrian, one of the best Pokemon that gets Terra. And I think a lot of leagues usually have Terra or Torrentee with Terra as a Pokemon. It just feels really bad, like, for sure. Oh, sorry, no. Week 4 is Valiant and Sneasler, which I don't believe any of those two have Terra, so... I'm getting 1 week ahead of myself. But I am releasing weeks 3 and 4 at the same time. So, anyways, quick cut to week 4. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you I'll see you in the next one. Alright, hello everybody, and welcome back to 88 Goals. My name is Azalea Akari, and welcome back to my YouTube channel as well. This week is week 4, and we will be playing off against Mr-Mongol and his squad. He's got a very scary squad with some very fast Pokemon, but then also on this back end, his team is super bulky. So let's go ahead and talk about what his team is comprised of. So he is Iron Valiant and Sneasler. So I'm still fortunate to have the fastest Pokemon. Just baseline fastest Pokemon. Sneasler probably will run Air Balloon unless we're gonna see an Indeedee, which we see on the bottom there, which would have Psychic Surge, which would allow it to be Psychic Seeds Sneasler. But regardless, we have Iron Valiant, Sneasler, Zapdos, Heatran, Terra, Hoopa Unbound. We have Gastrodon, Decidueye, Azumarill. We have Terra Reuniclus, Indeedee, and Munchlax. So I've done scouting on my opponent, and I've seen that he runs kind of the same couple of Terras on his Pokemon. He runs Terra Dark or typically like Terra Fire on his Hoopa, depending on the matchup, it seems like. And Reuniclus, he will tend to run normal, and I think maybe he's run a Fairy week. But he's run 2 weeks of normal Reuniclus, which I'm not 100% sure why. There's no reason that he's going to be a different Terra. Probably, I would assume Terra Fairy if he's going to bring Reuniclus into my team. However, I do think what I do suspect this week is probably a Gastrodon to be a check for Rapid Strike. I do suspect he'll bring he might just bring his top 6 that's on his screen. He could bring both his Terra Caps. I'm not sure. But either way, I have a plan for pretty much everything he can dish out. So I'm very excited for this. Another week where he has like Flame Body, and now he has Flame Body and Static. My opponent here, as well as just having like some Rocky Helmet user on his team, very likely. So we'll see when I show my team what I have done for this to take into account. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this is the team that I will be bringing for week 4 against Mr-Mongol. We're going to start with our Meowscarada. We're going to be running Protective Pads. Their team has Static. Their team has Flame Body. I can't risk Meow, or in that case, or even Urshifu getting burned or paralyzed. So we're running Pads on Meow, 224 HP, 252 attack, 232 speed, Jolly Nature to outspeed their fastest Pokemon. Flower Trick, Knockoff, U-Turn, Play Rough. And for our next mon, we're going to go to Ursh, who's also wearing Pads. Terra Water this week, 136 HP, 252 attack, 120 speed, Jolly Nature. Running Surging Strikes, Close Combat, Aqua Jet, and Trailblaze. Next up, we have Necrozma. We're going to run a Covert Cloak set with Terra Ghost for Sneasler. 124 HP, 252 attack, 132 speed. Jolly Nature with Knockoff, X Scissor for the potential of Hoopa Unbound, Photon Geyser, and Dragon Dance for setup. So really hoping that the Charisma could come through against one, maybe 2 Pokemon. For sure. Next up, we're going to have Kyurem, Kaichao the Kyurem with Heavy Duty Boots this week, 120 HP, 252 special attack, 136 speed, Timid Nature with Draco Meteor, Freeze Dry, Flash Cannon, Earth Power. Just good basic coverage moves.
for Kiram and 2 stabs. Next up is going to be Iron Treads. Going to be running Chopple this week to not get destroyed by close combats from either Valiant or Sneasler. We can survive pretty good on those. We have 176 HP, 200 attack, 72 special defense, and 60 speed. We're running Adamant Nature. We have Stealth Rock, Stone Edge, Rapid Spin, Heavy Slam. Stone Edge for Zap, because we know that Zapdos is going to come in against Iron Treads, and we're not going to want to click anything that can get us paralyzed. Although potential of switching in with a Heavy Slam could happen, so we'll see. Iron Treads learned in Mox that, I mean, it is a ground type, but static will still paralyze it. So got to worry about that. Next up, we have Primarina. We're gonna run a Kebia Berry this week to be able to live a Dire Claw, 212 HP, 252 defense, 44 special attack. We're running Energy Ball, Moon Blast, Psychic Noise, Surf, and a Bold Nature. This will allow us to live Dire Claws pretty nicely, and we'll have a Psychic Noise that can come back and just hit it for a lot of damage. All else fails, Surf will also do a lot if we suspect switching. So yeah, let's see how the game goes. And I'll come back with the replay afterwards. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, my match with Mr-Mongol has ended, and the team that he brought was pretty much exactly what I expected. The team that I played Mox against, which was Gastrodon, Heatran, Zapdos, Iron Valiant, Reuniclus, and Sneasler. So let's see how it goes. I felt pretty prepared for this week. So right off the bat, his Reuniclus, I believe, is his only Terramon, and it's Terra Fairy this week, just to let you know. It's not on the screen, but it's next to it's the one that you can't see on the screen, is his Terra Fairy Reuniclus. I lead Edward to get rocks up. My opponent leads Sneasler. So he goes U-turn. And I just click, and I went for the Heavy Slam, which I instantly eat Rocky Helmet and Static. 30%, by the way, every time. I think, I don't know what it is, but I feel like I'm a complete magnet for like Static and Flame Body. I ate a ton of it. I ate it in my Mox, and I got one here immediately. I should have just clicked Rocks, but I didn't. I wanted to be greedy. I wanted to go for the Sneasler kill if it went for the attack into my Chopple Berry Iron Treads. Unfortunately, it didn't, and this thing packed Heat Wave, which I wasn't expecting. So essentially, I put Edward in a spot where he just casually misses Stone Edge after being, because he's paralyzed to be spine slower. So that's unfortunate. So I just eat a Heat Wave and it goes down. It really felt unfortunate. I needed that Stone Edge to connect, and it just didn't. I mean, missing the Heat Wave miss into a Stone Edge hit would have done a lot for me. Instead, now I'm forced to go into Necro, who I'm just going to click D-Dance on here. I'm going to get a U-turn into Heatran. I'm just going to go ahead and rip a Photon Geyser into it. And he's going to go for... So I'm going to see the Magma Storm here. Switch to Prim on the Magma Storm. I know I'm trapped, but he's going to be forced to switch, which will relieve that. So I kind of expected the switch into Gastro, so I predicted it with the Energy Ball. And I'm just going to click Energy Ball again and see what happens, I'm pretty sure. No, I go Psychic Noise. And I do hit the Reuniclus switching in. I go Necrozma on Reuniclus, going for that because I'm a physical attacker here. He goes to Gastro. I click Dragon Dance, so I'm once again +1 setup. I go for Knockoff, and I get the Gastrodon's leftovers. In comes Heatran. I just click Knockoff again, and I get Shuka Berry from it. Magma Storm does connect, so I am now trapped, but he's going to be forced to switch or go down to a Photon. So I just go ahead and I get that Photon Geyser for free, which removes that, and in comes Sneasler. I should be faster, but then I see and learn that my opponent is actually... it's Scarf. Scarf Sneasler, which I wasn't expecting. Because it didn't make... To me, it didn't make much sense. I thought he might run Air Balloon, and then that would trigger Unburden, and that would be what makes it difficult. But he's just straight Scarf, so I thought I was faster, and I just wasn't, which is unfortunate. I go to my Primarina, and I click Surf. Doesn't do a ton to Reuniclus. I had a hard time deciding how this Reuniclus was built, just because it felt so odd to me. But Flower Trick did critical hit 45, so it did a lot. But then so Flower Trick did 50 on there, so I was like, oh, I should be able to get somewhere in the middle here and get the KO. Like 45, 50, but he does switch. He takes damage, so Flower Trick comes in and does 17. Heal block ends, and I just click knockoff to remove the Rocky helmet. But I get hit by a U-turn crit. Or by a U-turn and I go down. Because that's a more offensive Zapdos. And it's also super effective. He goes Sneasler and I go back there. And then I get Poison Touched. He wasn't Unburdened, he was actually Poison Touched. He lets Zapdos go down, which is a bit interesting, but I guess he didn't want anything to take a Psychic Noise, but I thought Reuniclus would have done a good job with that. That could have potentially saved him something here, but it's okay. And here I just go for some hits, just get some hits out. But not having the Terra on Urshifu means that I take so much from that. My Surging Strikes will generally KO here, so I do get the knockout. But then Iron Valiant comes out, and it becomes a bit more difficult. I do go for an Aqua Jet before going down. But this is just a really kind of a bit of a losing endgame for me. They go close combat, which KOs, and I should have played for that. I don't know why. I had the wrong setup. I was like, oh, this doesn't kill, but it definitely did. So I clicked Surf and got one KO, and then Sneasler comes out, and I go down, and it's a one mon loss. This was a tough week, but I think I kind of learned that, like, I got greedy on turn 1, but like in the initial turn 1, I thought that he would just go for the. I didn't suspect that he would just U-turn. Because his Zapdos doesn't actually have removal of rocks. I didn't suspect that he would just go. I thought he might try to get greedy, and then he'd get a ton of damage. But he just kept switching really smart when he had to. Zapdos was not the worst threat. I mean, I got it down low enough where he couldn't switch back in because he wouldn't have had boots because I got a knockoff. But he also was just Rocky Helmet. The annoying part was that he was prepared for Terra Ghost Covert Cloak. So realistically, I should have also thought that he would think that. And maybe Terra Fairy would have been a better. Terra Fairy could have been better. With still having the move to hit Sneasler. But Terra Fairy is weak to poison, is why you don't do it. So like there's other ways you can go that like makes you not, like I could have gone Terra Ground or something like that. Terra Ground probably wasn't terrible, but either way, ends in a 1 mon loss. I am now 1-3 with an exactly even differential. So last week I was 1-2. After week 3 I was 1-2 with like a +1, and now I'm 1-3 with a 0. And now I mentioned it in my week 3 recording because I got my weeks mixed up, but I play Terra Tornadus Therian next week, and I'm not super looking forward to prepping for it. because I don't know what I can never predict the Terra. I can predict the moveset, but I still should. I mean, it's generally just getting the Terra. Getting a correct Terra can help you a lot. But I guess it's not a big deal either way. Just gotta enjoy the ride from here on out, because at 1-3 it becomes very tough to make playoffs. I'd have to go on a full run. If I lose next week 1-4, it's pretty much impossible. And I probably will, and I will just play out the rest of the weeks and try my best. But I don't know. Like I won't have as much motivation to keep trying as hard, and I might just start running some silly stuff. However, and I guess I'll discuss it in week 5. But at the beginning of week 5, I made some moves to the team. But I will go over those in my week 5 video, so look forward to that. Have a good one, and I will see you all in the next video.